In 1962, if you wanted to shred a trip from Los Angeles to New York City, you'd do it on this bike. My name is Nick Thomas. I have a vintage BMW motorcycle, the R69s. The bike has a beautiful design. It's got this really nice sculptural quality to it. And the way that I describe how it rides is it's like a stick of butter on rails. It's soft, it's smooth, but it's also super confident in its handling. My uncle's always been a great creative influence. As a result of that, we're both really into art, design, fabrication, and a little bit of speed. I learned how to fabricate and weld here in the shop.
This is a machine that I've always lusted after and wanted one for a long time, ever since one of my buddies was an avid rider. I guess I rode it for a couple of years. Eventually, the motor decided to quit, and so I took it over to a gentleman who was the guru at that time of BMW motorcycles, and just to see if he could fix this motorcycle. As it turns out, he said, you know, we can fix it for this amount of money, $2,000, or I can sell you a brand new BMW R90 motor with a 5-speed transmission, no kickstart anymore, automatic start. So I decided, sure, let's go for it. He had that motorcycle for about a year and a half, and I became a little impatient, decided to take it, said, I'll do it myself. And I decided in the end to shelve it. You know, we worked on it off and on at the shop down here. Decided to shelve it, so it sat on the shelf for close to 40 years.
The process of resurrecting this bike took 3 years. The first year was spent going to the shop, scrounging for parts, deciphering parts between 2 different old BMW motorcycles. Once I kind of had an understanding of what was there and what was missing, I went to the internet to find the remaining parts. The second and third year, we relied on mechanics from San Francisco and Portland to help us really dial in the bike, really make it perfect, really make it something reliable and something you could ride anywhere. The chassis had to be slightly modified to take this bigger motor, but we have all the attributes of this incredible Springer chassis with almost the best power available at that time. Once the bike got put together, I really saw what my uncle was seeing in the bike. It really came to life how he described this bike. It really is elegant. It really does have a ton of style, and it really is sculptural. Once it got reassembled, it really was super fun to ride, super confident chassis. And I've actually had to really learn how to ride this bike. My first instinct was to really ride it at high RPMs, but it's kind of clunky in that way. And really what you want to do with this bike is ride the torque. And you can actually get a lot out of it at very low RPM, not have to do a lot of shifting. It's got a great range to ride in. And there's something about riding it here in the Pacific Northwest, especially when it's cold out and you're on this old motorcycle, totally shredding through the forest. It's just this great mix of elements. The BMW R69s really is the two-wheeled equivalent of a luxury car at that time. Now that this bike has been resurrected and it's put back together, what's really awesome, what's really hilarious is that Uncle Bob actually puts way more miles on this bike than I do. When I first asked him if I could put this bike together, he said, "Yeah, Nick, do whatever you want to do, I don't care." But once that bike fired up and it was ready to ride, he did care and he was on it. And that's been one of the greatest parts of taking this project on and finishing it.